Yo, what up guys, my name is Sasee, and in this video I am going to be explaining what is the easiest way for you, a Counter-Strike player, to transition into Valorant. And before we start, hey, I know you're in that 99.4% that don't subscribe to me, so hey, click that moving button. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. Let's get right into the video. So the first thing, and probably the most important thing for a really competitive player, would be sensitivity, because people who do play seriously, they like their sensitivity to be the same. They adopt muscle memory for that sensitivity, and they can perform precise flicks. So if you've been playing CSGO like me, the first thing you should do is you should go to gamepros.gg or just Google CSGO to Valorant sensitivity, and you should see this site. And then you just choose game Counter-Strike, the other game to be Valorant, enter your DPI on both sides, and then enter CSGO's sensitivity, which in my case was 2, and converted to Valorant it's 0.629, and that's exactly what I use in Valorant. Okay, so now the second one, as important, it's the same crosshair, because I know a lot of people prefer the same crosshair in every FPS game. Well, I actually went for something different, although the details I guess are the same. It's a white crosshair with an outline, but if in CSGO there are sometimes really long ranges and it's hard to see the head, then I definitely decided to make a crosshair with an empty middle. But in Valorant, as of right now, there isn't really no long ranges. It's pretty much close quarters 80% of time. So I actually went for a cross, and it feels good for me. And the third thing that some people would like to take from CSGO directly to Valorant could be binds, because for example in CSGO I dropped the bomb with C, but in Valorant the C key is actually an ability. But even though people do get used to their binds, just be careful what you change, because you can't really bind custom stuff right now. There is no console, and I don't know if there will be one in the future in Valorant. But if there are some really crucial things that you need to change, then do it. Because for example, a really weird thing about me is I play with shift as crouch and control as slow walk. I've played CSGO like that for like many years, and I've done the same in Valorant, because that's like a bind I must do. It's just muscle memory at this point. And I guess those three things were the main things that you would like to directly carry on from CSGO. And now I'm just gonna mention the things that you should keep in mind when starting to play Valorant. Obviously the first thing, and the most obvious one, would be abilities. Even though the game is based around gunplay, which I can agree, the gunplay is really important. It feels just like CSGO pretty much, but the thing is, the abilities add that little bit of spark to the game. You know, for example, you're playing the game like CSGO, shooting everyone, killing everyone, and if you're playing as Jett, then you can also dash out of a bad situation. So yeah, keep in mind you have abilities, and at first I would suggest just choose one agent, go with it in practice, just learn the 4 abilities he has or she, and keep playing him. Keep grinding that one agent, because it's not really beneficial to switch them every game, because you'll be slow at learning. It's better to just take one and learn it from inside out. Second thing is, the movement is a lot slower than in CSGO, and what that means, if in CSGO you could jiggle peek, you know, AD a corner, then in Valorant it's probably a really bad idea, because by doing that you could easily get shot. And you probably know, the game also has a sniper rifle called Operator, which will most probably easily kill you if you try to jiggle peek with that slow ass movement. Third thing is the randomized spray patterns. Although I do have to admit, they are not fully randomized. That would be completely bullshit. But if you've noticed by playing or watching other people, at a certain moment the top part of the crosshair disappears, and that means at that point the spray becomes random. For example, while using the Phantom and Vandal, the vertical part, that's pretty much really consistent. but the horizontal part, that's where it gets a bit random, which is different from CSGO because the AK just has one spray pattern that you use all the time. But I'm not gonna lie, I think I would like Riot to change that to a full-on spray pattern like CSGO has. The fourth thing is the sound. The thing about sound is you can actually be heard from a really long distance. The game is, you could say, a bit slower because when you actually run around on the map, you see a faint circle around you, and that means how far your footsteps can be heard, and it's actually quite a big distance. Of course, the circle takes away a bit of skill, but at the same time, it's really neat. When you're running, you know when to stop. But yeah, be careful with the distance, because I know a lot of CSGO players are just used to sprinting, like me, and I did the same thing in Valorant until I actually saw how huge the audio distance is, and I've started using the slow walk much more now. Fifth thing is armor. Well, if in CSGO you pretty much never have to buy armor again, then in Valorant you pretty much do it every time you get hit, aka every round, I'm guessing, because in Valorant armor pretty much works like extra health. So if you get tagged for 50 and you had 100 health and 50 armor, aka shields, I think they call them like that, you're still gonna be at 100 health minus the shield. Well, actually I'm lying, because I simplified it, because there are percent involved in that. In reality you would have like, I don't know, maybe 70 health and 10 armor, something around that. So yeah, don't forget to buy your armor every round. Sixth thing, aim punch. If in CSGO you can avoid aim punch by buying armor from SMGs, pistols, anything, then in Valorant the aim punch is non-stop. So no matter if you have the 25 shield, 50 shield, no shield, you can always be aim punched, which pretty much is just a little buff to every gun that doesn't one-shot headshot. And let me tell you, the aim punch is really annoying, so just buy a Vandal and headshot the enemy first and kill them. Seventh thing, BHopping. I know a lot of you, my CSGO friends, you like to BHop around. I know, it is fun, I have to admit it myself. Yes, you can also BHop in Valorant, and it is way easier. You can do it with a spacebar with 100% success. The only problem with BHopping in this game is it gives you no real advantage, because if you BHop, you are the same exact speed as if you would sprint. So just please stop jumping around in my games. And the last thing I wanted to mention is scopes, because pretty much every rifle in this game has a scope, except like the pistols and whatnot. So pretty much every rifle is like the Krieg from CSGO, which is kinda neat, because if you do have to play in that long distance, you can scope in. But the thing you have to remember, when you use the scope on a rifle like Vandal, the fire rate goes down, which means it starts to shoot slower. Oh, and of course you move slower in the scope as well, so don't be using the scope 24/7. And also a little thing to remember, if you, for example, scope in on SMGs or the Bulldog, then you instantly switch to burst mode and you can't do anything about it, so be careful. And yeah, I guess that's everything I wanted to say. That's, in my opinion, everything you should keep in mind when switching from CSGO to Valorant. If I missed something, then write it down in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching everybody, I hope you enjoyed, and I'm out.